have to wear pants.
No pants.
Okay.
Yes, you don't. It's only from here
What
down.
about shirts?
Well, I don't care. Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. And I think this is probably going to be one of those shows that I do that I don't expect a lot of views.
Please, thank you.
And I can hear people talking in the background. I shouldn't be. Everybody should be muted.
My bad.
So in informal videos that we've had, and I'm really sorry for that. But first off, I'd like to explain. I've invited several people, and this time of the year is hard to get people to come on. And which I understand, it's Christmas time. We're all having a good time, wanting to spend time with the family, wanting to do things and everything else. So that's not a problem. But I was actually invited to do some video today, actually a screenshot with a local personality on a set, and I was like, I can't pass it up, so I have to go do it. So I spent the whole day with a which I have now can say he's a good friend of mine, Dr. Paul Bearer. And if you'll look at some of my things on Facebook, where we did an Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, you'll see him on there. I spent the whole day over there, and we did some filming today, and I have to say it was one of the most pleasurable times of my life being on set with this guy. This guy is so great. He's a Halloween guy. Let me give you a little bit of a background. Years ago, when I was a tiny tot and I was growing up, we only had black and white TV. And the original Dr. Paul Bearer was on black and white TV. And on Saturday mornings around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or whatever, he had what they call Creature Feature, in which he had the horrible old movies. And they were old black and white movies and stuff that they played on Channel 44. WTOG and our local radio station. I believe it was St. Pete, Florida. I loved him. I loved him. His name was Dirk Bennett, I believe it was. And I loved watching all those. And I watched them for years and years and years and years, up until I got older. Well, finally he got to be an older gentleman, and he passed away. He used to do all the Christmas parades. He used to have a hearse he used to drive around in Winter Haven with. He lived over in Winter Haven, so he finally passed away. Well, that went on for a little while, but then this one gentleman stepped up and really filled his position more than anybody could ever imagine. And his name's Richard Kuhn, and he has a appliance store over in Eagle Lake, Florida. And he started, everybody was saying, like, you do the Dr. Paul Bearer thing really, really great. And so he started doing it. And one thing left to another, and the TV station, WTOG, picked him up. And his Dirk, the original Dr. Paul Bearer's wife, after seeing, she gave him permission to continue on. And he was originally called Dr. Paul Bearer 2. Well, after seeing the amount of enthusiasm and everything that he put into it and the way he was going with it, she called him one day and said, you know what? Just drop the Dr. Paul Bearer 2. You are now Dr. Paul Bearer. And that has been such a great time, a fascination thing. To you, the average person, and all y'all listening out there, probably don't understand that. But for us local people here in the Central Florida area, that means a lot, because he was a very, very influential person, a local TV personality that people liked and really cared about. He did a lot for the communities. He did a lot of, did things for children and stuff. He was a very, very good person down in heart, so to speak. So for for his wife to tell Richard to take over that position was a big deal. It was a big deal for Richard, and it's a big deal for me because I followed the original Dr. Paul Bearer for years and years and years. I mean, I remember when I was a small toddler, used to watching him in black and white TV on Creature Feature with Dr. Paul Bearer. So anyway, I got to meet the man, and I was invited to go and shoot some on the set with Dr. Paul Bearer today. I didn't have anybody that really wanted to do the show tonight. And I really thought about canceling the show, but I hate canceling a show. I really do. I mean, all these friends that are on the panel tonight expect to show up every week, and we have something to do. And so it's going to be informal tonight, and I can explain more about what happened during the day and what we did, but it was a really great time. But all these people on the panel also can contribute tonight, and we'll just have a round table chat or whatever. Before I get into that, let me talk about my sponsors. They are Devobal Technologies for web design, development, hosting. Visit devobal.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years of woodworking create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company. For your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies, go to bearwood.com. And Klingspor, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com. And let's not forget my favorite scroll saw, Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, seiko.com. Let's go down the line and let everybody introduce themselves, and we'll start off with you, if you don't mind, Miss Brenda.
Thanks, Russ. I'm Brenda G of Brenda G's Designs. You'll find me on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, probably a bunch of other places I can't think of off the top of my head, but I'm all over the internet as Brenda G's Designs.
Great. And then good to have you back off your cruise, Mr. Chris.
Yep, Russ. Hi, everybody. We're back from the cruise, back from the Caribbean. And I really want to know who turned off the heat while we were gone. It wasn't this cold when we left. So, but yeah, Chris from the Old Cranky Workshop. Workshop is closed down for the winter. Had to pull all the glues and paints and batteries in. It's just too cold out there to work now. So we're landlocked in the house for now. Hopefully be back out there in March. So.
Oh, I know we've had some storms coming through lately. It's not been the cold spell that y'all had, but there's a lot of cold going around this year.
We get off the plane, it was in the teens here. So.
Yeah.
Not a good thing, but you know what? That's life. What are you gonna do?
Dixon. And we can't hear you. Nope, still can't hear you.
Dixon might need to stay in the chat.
All right, we'll go on to Jim, and we'll come back to you. Jim?
Jim Bashir is here with Driveway Workshop, and I'm on social media anywhere you can spell Jim Bashir. So I'll go back over in the corner and laugh at Al.
Katie, I got to get my mouse down there. Oh, go ahead, Katie.
Go ahead. What?
Go ahead. Tell us where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm on Facebook, and that's kind of it. And sometimes I show up here and bother people, and try to invite people that's already here and do stuff like that.
Well, do stuff like
so
that.
Now he just left.
Yeah, just to know that I know you've been gone, and we love you.
I love all of y'all too, but don't tell anybody.
And I just want to say this publicly. I love you to death, sweetheart. I mean, it's kind of like a brother sisterly love. You know, I mean, I really do. So if you ever need anything, and I just want to publicly say this, just let me know.
I need a bandsaw.
Kind of figured that was coming.
You opened that door wide open, Russ.
I
Yeah.
know I did. I know I did. So, oh well. You know what can I say? Anyway, love you, Katie. Let's
Love
go
you
on
too,
to the
Russ.
next one. Let's go on to the next one. Meet yourself, Katie. It's Matt.
Oh, hi, everyone. Matt Haas from Awesome Wood Things on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Oh, and here's something fun. My Instagram was always Matthew Haas Geek, and that's my Instagram, kind of a mix of woodworking and personal. Just for funsies, I got Awesome Wood Things on Instagram, too. I don't know how much I'm going to use it, but if you want to jump over there and give me a, what is it, follow? You can find me on Instagram under 2 accounts, Matthew Haas Geek and Awesome Wood Things. I'm glad to be here. I have some adult beverages, and I'm ready to have some fun.
Oh crap! Yeah, I guess you are. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yep. Okay. Yes. Let's go on to Al Forte.
Hi, I'm Al Forte. Man, it's been a heck of a day, and I love you too, Katie. But anyway, you can find me Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop and Kilroy 79763. I probably have multiple accounts too, Matt. You haven't cornered the market on multiple accounts on multiple platforms, okay? However, anyway, great to be here, guys. Is it going to be a crazy night?
It is going to be a crazy night.
Anyway,
I can assure you that. All right, Paul.
Hi, Paul Corliss, Paul's Messy Workshop. Paul's Messy Workshop on YouTube or on Instagram. And everybody control the excitement, but this week I spent time cleaning my workshop. And I found out that horizontal surfaces are my enemy.
I combine all the horizontal surfaces, Paul. I go like this, and this one's clean, but then that one down there is just.
Yeah, if I could have a workshop with no horizontal surfaces, I'd change the name of my website. But thanks for having me on.
I noticed
You realize a clean workshop is a sign of a sick mind.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's not, believe me, it's not clean.
I think I noticed the fact that he stuttered on that horizontal surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many beers have you had before we got on?
None. I'm a teetotaler.
Oh, you're a teetotaler. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get that. And like I said, informal show. I'm sorry if you expected, and I probably will get a lot of thumbs down for this show tonight. If you expected a lot of
this is going to be one of the best shows. Come on.
Yeah, if you expected a lot of things, but unfortunately, I didn't. I really thought 2 days ago I'd just cancel the show, and I went like, well, I canceled the show because I want to tell you, I canceled the show last weekend because I had my kids, and what it was is, which y'all can all relate to this. Russ Meadows know, and I wish Russ was on here tonight. Y'all can all relate to this. Is the hurricane that we had a year ago damaged my house, and I put the brand new roof on. Everybody think I know heard me talk about that. Well, there still is some ceiling damage, some water damage in the ceilings. So I had we had pulled the ceilings and done what we needed to do and had the repairs done, but it was time to texture the ceilings. And I didn't want this popcorn stuff that everybody sprays up on their ceilings. That's the worst texture I've ever seen in my entire life. It's the little styrofoam. Huh?
I think Paul likes that stuff.
Styrofoam. It's the little styrofoam balls in the drywall mud, and you spray it up, and you can't clean it. If there's a cobweb and you scrape off the cobweb, first off, if you scrape it off, you increased it from 10 inches to 24 inches. And second off, you've knocked all that popcorn off the ceiling. So now you have a 4 foot in diameter popcorn balls laying on your floor where you tried to clean it off. Does anybody relate to that?
Not I.
Huh?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the popcorn it's easy for the drywall finishers because they can come in and put one coat on and spray that popcorn crap all over it. But when you try to reality clean it, I mean, it's like, so anyway.
That's why we take
Just don't sweat the little cobwebs because they catch a lot of mosquitoes.
Well, yeah, we thought about that. But when they start to hanging down where you have to walk through them, that gets a little.
I know it looks like the Addams Family house.
Yeah.
Halloween then.
Especially if it's after Halloween. That's
Yeah.
not cool at all.
So there was, water stains and stuff we had to fix. So we had done all the ceiling work, and it finally came down to the point we needed to do the texture. So my sons finally showed up, and that's the picture that y'all saw me post on Facebook, is them coming and help. Because you have to tape everything up. All the furniture has to go off. You have to, when you start spraying texture on a ceiling, that stuff will get into places. It'll get in your butt crack.
Hey, Inspired Woodworks had to use a
it will go everywhere that you don't want it to go.
Yes,
if
he
it's
went
not
there.
Covered, it will go in there. Trust me. So we had to cut. They come over. We had to tape everything. Has to be, all the crown mold has to be taped up. We spent 3 or 4 hours just taping stuff up to get ready to spray. So my two wonderful sons, Cameron and Corey, and Cheyenne, my son's fiance, she came over and helped. We taped it all up, and we spent all that day Saturday prepping and spraying those ceilings to get
all about prepping, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about prepping. All day long we spent doing that. At the end of the day, I was like, I'm too tired to do the show. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to cancel. So we got all that done. And then the ceiling has to be painted. So this past week, guess what Russ has been doing? Paint the ceilings. So I've been painting the ceilings. Then my wife went like, this room would look so much better if it was a different color. So, well, hell, it's all tore apart. I mean, it's not like we got to move furniture or anything because there's no furniture in here to move because we've all moved the crap out. I was going to say, yep, we all moved this stuff out. So, yeah, we went ahead and painted the whole hallway and living room and everything and made it all look nice for the holidays.
I thought you were going to say you got that all up there, and she said, that ceiling looked better if it wasn't textured.
Oh.
Hey, before we get too far, Morgan out in the chat wanted to know if you had picked the winners in the contest yet for the draw for the ones.
Yes, it actually went down the line from the first person that was chosen for the other. I'll get into that later on, but the first person that was chosen got the gift that the other people didn't chosen, and just followed on down the line. If you remember who I chose, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, the people that got to pick the first 4 that got to pick their gifts, then it went down from there. And I'm sorry I haven't gotten with y'all. Trust me, with all this going on, that's been in the back of my mind, but I just haven't gotten with it. So you will get an email from me within the next 24 to 40 days. What are you doing, Al? What are you laughing?
Liberty Woodworking said something about I can't remember exactly what it was. So yeah. It's a pound sign or hashtag popcorn booty crack. So when it falls down in and I said, I hate when that happens. And what does he do? It's like or her, I don't know.
Russ, Mike Fulton over in the chat. Hi, Mike. Long time no talk to. But anyway, he just wanted to let you know that if you got a V-notch trowel, get that popcorn stuff right out of there.
That's not what he said.
My wife's in the next room. I can't.
He said a V-notch trowel will get that stuff out of your butt crack.
That is only my. Keep on coming.
That is only Mike Fulton. Mike.
Okay,
Fulton.
she said it's okay to say whatever I want. So
Okay, so V-Notch trial will get that stuff out of your butt crack. Thank you, Mike. I did not know that.
The advice is free. It might not be good. Does that sound familiar?
Or
I
can mail you this if you want. Can you see the 80 on the back of it?
Oh,
That might. If you have to let it dry, this will get it right out too.
Hey, Jim, I have a question for you. What does the letter in front of that stand for?
P?
Yeah.
Pain?
I
I don't know. It's P80. It's like the Diablo sandpaper.
actually, I learned what that meant the other night.
What's it mean?
don't remember.
Yeah, we had the guy from Klingspor come to our woodworking show, and he told us about. Oh, P means paper.
Ah.
That's a paper base.
Oh, that's pretty original.
Paper, yes, paper backed.
No, this has got that. This has got loop on it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The actual underneath that loop is the paper for the paper stick on.
It's kind of a letdown being so simple.
I believe that's paper.
Okay, well, since we've devolved into trying to figure out, what P stands for.
Well, I will have to go back through my notes from when we had the. All right. So at the Lakeland Woodworking Club the other night, we had a guy from Klingspor, and I can't even think of his name. I posted it on Facebook, but from Klingspor come down and talk to us about sandpaper and what we need to be using as woodworkers and everything, and went into it really, really good about the differences of sandpaper, what they're made up of, what works better for wood, what works better for metal, and everything. It was a really, really informative meeting, and what we learned a lot about it, and I took a lot of notes. I don't have them with me, and if you ask me, but I think I remember that P, even though it has a woven back, means the original sandpaper on the back of it meant paper. So don't quote me on that.
Liberty's saying it stands for popcorn.
Oh, probably popcorn, but
I just use the Velcro on my orbital spindle sander without any pads.
Yeah, but my point is that they have several things that attach the sandpaper to different things, like your
rubber
belt sander and everything else. But the actual backing of the original sandpaper is like on paper. So there's a silicone, there's something oxide. I mean, he listed all there's 4 different types of things that you can have.
That's way much information for me.
Oh, I know. And do you think that I can recollect that all tonight and recall that all for you? Yeah, that's not going to happen. I have to refer back to my notes that I took from that meeting. Did I get somebody want to know, did I get rain yesterday? Jimbo want to know. Yes, we got rain all day yesterday. It wasn't strong, wasn't hard. We were supposed to get some real severe thunderstorms coming through Florida from that cold front that came through and brought a lot of, not the snow so much, but everything through most of the southwest or southeast, I should say.
I've got a question for the chat. What is the coarsest sandpaper that you've ever used or seen? And just type it in the chat. Sorry to interrupt, Russ.
What's the coarsest sandpaper that you've ever used or seen? I can tell you right off the bat, the coarsest I've ever seen or used was 60.
I fell off my motorcycle going about 70 once, and I think that was about a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty coarse.
Oh, says he
Actually, I looked it up on Google, and that P stands for it's an FEPA standard for the grit.
Okay. I thought it was paper.
Well, it might be paper in there somewhere, but
hey,
FEPA.
Don't ask me. I have to look through my notes. 40.
Ooh,
yeah, we got some 30 grit. Tannic Woodcrafting Pure Snealing said 30.
30, man, you monster.
Yeah.
What did you use that? Chris, what did you use
That's not sandpaper, that's a rasp.
Schaffner says 16. That must have been for grinding
floor
concrete.
sander. He just threw glass under the sander.
Yeah.
Those big.
I was gonna say, John, come on, give me a break. 16 grit. There would like you go, and it took a quarter of an inch off.
That's like asphalt.
Yeah.
You can make your own sandpaper by going ahead.
I'm sure it counts, but Inspired Woodwork said I'm sure if it counts, but my employer uses 10 grit toilet paper. Then I don't think I would use their toilet paper. I would personally suggest that you buy your own Charmin and take it with you to your work. I mean, that would be a whole lot better. Charmin? I'll use Charmin.
That stuff will mess up the septic system.
Oh, I can't. It feels good on my butt, so who cares if it stops up my septic system?
Yeah, you'll be flying about that next. Oh, God. I'm going to miss the show.
Charmin feels good one. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh.
Well, after that V-trial, I guess it does.
You're like, ooh, I got Charmin. Or it'd be like, ooh, I'm using 30 grit.
So just to prove the staying power of this show, Russ, we still have 35 people watching, and we're talking about your butt and toilet paper. I just want to get that out there for everybody.
Well, you know what?
Has anybody made their own sandpaper?
I would just like to say one thing, and this personally from me to not only y'all on the panel, but them out there. We do this week after week, and there's 52 weeks in a year. And usually I do somewhere between 45 to 52. So that means there's only a handful of times that I don't do a show. And during that handful of times, probably in about 3 or 2 of them is where there's actually a no show. The first year I did this show, I only missed two shows in the whole year. So my point being is, some of these last 5 shows are like this tonight. They are really not anything that is really great or really informative. It's just a matter of myself and my friends on this panel, and I'll point them all out down the line. That we're
cleared of all charges.
We're here just having a good time, and I hope and pray that you enjoy what we do during the other 300 and something days during the year, that you'll just give us a little slack on these last 4 or 5 shows that are really worthless, and maybe your aspect, but we're having a good time. So thank you for being here. From the bottom of my heart, I really want to say thank you so very much, and I appreciate you still being here and still being out in the chat.
Russ,
Thank
I
you
think
so
it would mean a lot if you would guarantee that everyone in the chat room is on the nice list.
Oh, they're all on the nice list.
Every single one?
Every one of them's on the nice.
David Jones.
And you know what? We got like 5 more people that just showed up after I just said that.
They're on the extra special night list now.
If anybody wants on the panel that's in the chat, you go ahead and send me a PM, and I'll send you a link.
Jimbo says, Russ, thank you and Steve Good for the gifts of the Scroll Saw channel and all the other people who donated. John Schaffner said, I called an info. What? I called it.
It's an infotainment format.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, from sandpaper to toilet paper.
Yeah, well, no, you get taught something and you get entertained at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Well, John, you just taught me something. I had no idea what that word is.
John's throwing those big words out there tonight.
I know. I'm like, damn.
Yes.
And don't forget after the show, our toilet paper special. Re-roll right to do.
Yeah. Yes. Informational and entertained.
Infotainment.
So, yes. Let me just a little bit of side note. The Dr. Paul Bearer that I referred to, if you'll go and look at my Facebook post today and also on Instagram and Twitter, Dr. Paul Bearer is out there on all those channels. And he does a fantastic job. He is kind of like I am, as far as he's trying to make his presentation known on video for YouTube and everything else, and he wants to promote stuff in the community. He does a lot of woodworking, and I was shocked. I was really shocked today. He made his own what's those booths when you have the thing that you come up and it has the globe and you
props.
Yeah, he's made a bunch of stuff that was woodworking, and I went like, oh my God. He said, I don't do a whole lot of woodworking, but I created this or that, and I went like, oh my God, dude, you've done so very, very much. What was the name of the booth when you come up and put your dollar in and told you your
Oh, that one.
The kissing booth?
No, not the kissing booth. You put a dollar in it, it told you your fortune. This guy come up.
Fortune telling booth.
Fortune teller, yeah.
Well, yes, but it was animated, so to speak.
Mhm. Yeah, the
Great
fortune teller.
Santini.
Yeah, something like that. That what was the great Paul Bearer, and he had this thing with it. He stood in it, and you come up and put a dollar in it, and he would stand there alive and rub the globe and say, "Oh, your fortune's going to be." It was he wanted to get Santa in it today and do some shots, but we just ran out of time. But he built this thing.
I posted his Facebook on in the chat.
Great, I'm glad you did. He built this thing and wanted me to do it. We just ran out of time for. He said you would do so great for doing this inside of it, and we just ran out of time today. He is a lot, in all sincerity, a lot like me as far as he's trying to promote the community, and he tries to do things for the community, and he also is trying to promote himself, and that's not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned, because he does so much for charities and other things that he donates his time for. And so a really nice guy. I really enjoyed being with him this afternoon.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a great time.
It was really, really great time. All right. Has everybody seen? Let's see if I can pull it up.
Why don't you show the video that you showed us?
That's what I'm going to do.
Hey, while you're looking for that, do you all on the board here when you were growing up, did they have that creature features thing in your like TV viewing area?
Yes.
With different guys in it? Because we had a guy here that did that, and then before UHF got really big, we had a guy on here that did a thing called Svengoolie, and it was basically the same thing as creature features.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He'd stop the movie like in the middle, or he'd like comment on it like it was a mystery science theater thing, and I love doing that. So
Now we had
my wife will probably yell in a room here.
We had Uncle Dale Norman, who was also a local radio station disc jockey. So we got him in the weekdays and drive time, and on the weekends we had Uncle Dale. Double feature.
Yeah, we had a Dr. Creep in Dayton, Ohio, and he also did a lot of work for the Children's Hospital and charitable organizations. Drove a hearse around town.
All right, give me 1 second to see if I can pull him up. Aha!
Yes.
I found him. All right, so let's go over here and go back to where we are.
Let's go to the movies.
And I'm going to have to turn the volume sky high.
Do I need popcorn for this?
Yeah, so I'm going to turn the volume sky high, and I'm going to turn the mic down so y'all can hear this when I play it. So, because I really want you to hear this, because it was so very, very funny. We did this in one take only. And it turned out, even the person that was behind the camera said, wow, we talked about what we wanted to do and did it, and they didn't believe how fantastic.
You're both professionals. Come on.
Well, that it went out. So if I can go down here and find
Off to the infinity screen. Oh, there we
Yep.
are.
All right, so there's where we are. Let me see if I can get my. This is the one I'm talking about right here. This is Dr. Paul Bear. This is some of the stuff he's done, and this is the one that him and I did today.
So tell me, young man, what would you like for Christmas? I want a Daisy air rifle. Are you kidding me, kid? You shoot your eye out.
Man, he gave you a shove.
No kidding.
What would you like for Christmas?
And it was real
I
too.
want a Daisy air rifle. Are you kidding me, kid? You shoot your eye out.
Wow. Did you have a mattress you fell onto?
No, I did not, and I'm trying to get.
Have you
back.
seen this man? He needs a mattress.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
Katie.
You might find yourself on the naughty list.
I'm always on the naughty list.
What did Katie say?
Never
She didn't
mind.
say
you
anything.
know.
What did she say?
Katie
I
says,
didn't say nothing.
Oh, did
It's
you
all
say?
right.
I know Matt said that I have an air mattress, and Katie went like. Katie said something like, "You see his fat ass? He didn't eat it."
Well, not in so many words, but
last
Yeah.
like 4 words. Did you
Yeah.
see his fat ass?
Well, anyway, so that's one of the things that was. Did you get where I want a Daisy air rifle?
Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
The Christmas Carol. I'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yo,
Christmas
you're-
story.
Kid. Yeah, we did that. That was a cool skit. Now the other one was that we did on for Twitter. Let me see if I can get the
Did you get a major award?
Twitter thing. Did I get what?
A major award? You know, the
Yeah.
leg lamp?
And these are just
Fragile.
promo shots, right? The actual skits.
This is just stuff, that we did that we wanted to do outside, above and beyond, so to speak. I can't even log into our own Twitter account. Why?
I hacked it a second ago. When
See, Twitter don't like it either.
Russ, your video and audio is out of sync by just a bit.
We were talking about that, and I don't know why. I guess it's something to do
Can
with
you pause your video and just unpause it. Maybe that'll
I think it's the Grinch myself.
like turn the camera off like this and then
Well,
go back.
apparently the Grinch has gotten Dixon and
Yeah, yeah.
silenced him.
Yes, the real Santa's throttling you.
Okay, well, I can't log into my own YouTube account. That's
No,
really
we
nice.
can't hear you either.
It looks better.
Hey, can one of y'all log into it?
You're good now.
No, I'm talking about my Twitter account.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm looking at where he's in front of the tree. If that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hold on. I'll share my screen.
hold on. So hold on. I got to get back to you. I'm over here trying to.
Okay, I'm just setting it up on my end, full screen, and and because I'm full screen now, I can't share it. Okay, hold on. Let's see, full screen there.
Claws right down, scary claws lady.
Wait. Man, okay. Sharing my screen now.
That's weird. I can't even log into my own Twitter account.
Okay, screen share. All right, folks. This is what Russ is wanting me to do on Twitter. Ready, guys?
Yep.
All right. I think you should be able to hear it. If not, then let me know. Here it goes.
Come, scary claws. Down, scary claws right down, scary claws lady. Excuse me, sir. It's actually Santa Claus.
Nice.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Copy, share,
Fun.
Downloading.
Yeah, he was. I wished I could pull it up on my own.
Wait.
It's here comes Scary Claus. Here comes Scary Claus. Right down Scary Claus lane. I tap him on the shoulder and go, Excuse me, sir. It's Santa Claus. So we did a bunch of takes. He did a bunch of takes for next year. He did some woodworking takes for me that I'm going to be using myself for the Let's Talk Shop with Russ show and some other things. So,
Russ,
yeah.
tell us why what the animosity between him and Santa Claus is.
What's the animosity between him and Santa Claus?
Yes.
He's getting sick and tired of Christmas encroaching into Halloween. So that's the animosity. It's like every year, and I think all of y'all have noticed this, every year, without a shadow of a doubt, we go through Thanksgiving, or first off, it's October, which is Halloween. Then we move into November, which should be Thanksgiving, and then into Christmas. But as soon as they start putting out a lot of the Halloween stuff, look on the background that the Christmas stuff automatically starts coming in. Even before Christmas, more and more it encroaches in.
I always thought it was, October 31st, that's Halloween. After October 31st, it's Christmas, except for Thanksgiving Day only. That's Thanksgiving, and then Christmas again.
I agree with you, but the stores are not doing that. They
a lot of places put Christmas out in September now.
Yes, they are encroaching Christmas more and more into. They sell more stuff at Christmas time than any other time of the year. So Halloween is kind of getting looked over. So Dr. Paul Bearer, my friend, is what do you think he represents? Halloween. Halloween's his best time of the year. And they're more and more encroaching Christmas onto Halloween and taking away the Halloween stuff. So there's the animosity. He can't stand that Santa Claus is taking over.
Which holiday has more fishnets? That's the question.
Well,
Halloween.
Yeah. And I totally agree with what he is saying. And it has to do nothing personally, but they are pushing us more and more Christmas, more and more out into the Thanksgiving right after. What is Black Friday? What is Black Friday? The first Friday after Thanksgiving always falls out on a Thursday in November. Black Friday is what? The Christmas shopping.
Right.
And Cyber Monday.
And Cyber Monday. So there you go. So
and Prime Day, which is a new one now too.
So he's aggravated. He is aggravated that the Christmas spirit is working upon or onto his day, which is Halloween. And you know what? As a kid growing up, the two favorite holidays that I ever had, and I brought that in, instilled that into my kids. And I'll tell you this right off the bat, were Halloween and Christmas. Not so much Thanksgiving, but Halloween and Christmas. Halloween, I loved. At two different fire stations. I'm a retired firefighter. At two different fire stations that I worked at with volunteers, we created a Halloween haunted house and brought kids in and did Halloween or haunted houses for them. So I encouraged Halloween. It was a great time to dress. I used to love to dress up as Jason. Jason is my most favorite character there ever has been as far as for Halloween. We designed a haunted house in one of the fire station places, the bays for the apparatus to back into. We designed that whole thing where you come in on one side and went out the other. And the last thing that you went to was Jason. And I played Jason.
Oh, boy.
And I had a chainsaw without a blade, and we covered it in rubber so nobody get it hit or injured with. And when they'd come into that last room, I'd fire that chainsaw coming out. I had a full-blown jumpsuit that was full-blown. I dressed up. People used to say, oh my God, you were so much like Jason. So for me to go from Halloween Jason into the Santa Claus character I am today is totally just totally out of character from one to the other. But I used to enjoy doing this stuff for Halloween and playing Halloween characters.
I sold my chainsaw on Craigslist, and the person bought it. It was for one of those haunted houses. It was going to pop the blade off, and then, you know, it would scare the. And the proper pronunciation is children's. It scared the children's. You do it for the children's.
Children's, yeah, the children's. But I did that, and the one fire department that I worked at, I worked for Polk County Fire Department, but they stationed us into the volunteer fire stations. In other words, there was volunteer fire stations, and they couldn't be there during the daytime because the volunteers had jobs. So we were there 24 hours a day.
Hello?
You getting a call?
Not I.
Hello, Baxter? Is that you?
I don't know. There was somebody that was getting a call.
Was that the Santa hotline calling back?
So anyway, so they would have to have jobs. So they put us firefighters in there to cover the daytime, and we still have the volunteers at night. Long story, but anyway, so that same fire station where I helped them develop the first Halloween haunted house in their bays was they wanted to do something really special that Christmas. And I went like, we had a guy that was a volunteer that did the billboards. So they had these real huge pieces of plywood. I'm talking about, like 8 foot by 10 foot or 8 foot by 12 foot pieces of plywood. And he could get them for free that were, when they would tear the billboards down or make new billboards, they would pull off the old plywood. And I said, well, wow, if you can bring us some of those sheets of plywood, I will draw out on it and I made a full size, and I got pictures of it, a full size Santa sleigh and reindeer with all the 10 or 12, I don't know how many it was, reindeer out of all those full sheets of plywood. And we set them on top of the roof of the fire department. And they scattered from one into the fire department had to be 150, 200 foot wide. They scattered throughout the whole fire department, all the way up with Rudolph on the end with the red nose. And we cut them full size, or I cut them full size out of all those sheets of plywood and everything and put them up on the roof. They had them for years and years and years. They did that. And we had people coming from miles around commenting because we took rope lights and put in between for the reins all the way up and had a big red nose on the end of Rudolph for the first lead. I spent months building all that stuff and putting it up on top of that fire station. And the greatest joy that I had was seeing all the people coming by and looking up and seeing all that on top of there. And even the volunteers going like, wow, it's like, we've never had anything like that out there. And I'm like, and I'm not the only one that did it. I kind of like did most of it and helped it along, but we had a lot of the volunteers contribute. They come in and they would help. And we would draw out the reindeer. Once we got the first one down, we'd draw it. We'd just change his legs a little bit more and sit out there with jigsaws for hours upon hours, cutting these things out. And we had so much fun. Me and those guys back in those days. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And more so the fact that the community enjoyed it and really looked out for it. And so we had a lot of great times back then.
I bet it was awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah, it was.
Fabulous.
Yeah, we had a lot of great times.
Anyone in the chat room have a topic that
yeah, let's get off of me. And sounds like and I'm preaching tonight. So
no, it's all good. It's all good.
No, I just want to get off of me.
Could talk about my new show.
Let's go for it. Go for it.
Well, there's going to be a new live stream. There might only be one because we don't know how well it's going to be. It will be Brenda and myself. We're both co-hosts, and it's a show called Mind Equals Blown. And the idea is the chat room will put true facts, or at least facts that can be somewhat verified, that they think Brenda and I don't know. And if it blows our mind, we will give you virtual tacos as a reward. And then we might share something that will blow your mind. It's going to be like an open, fun shenanigans. Also, we're going to encourage people to check out everyone else in the chat room. So if they like that particular content creator, they could subscribe, so there's going to be a lot of, collaboration in the chat room and getting to know new creators. It's going to be fun. It's going to be sort of all over the place. And
so when is this fixing to start?
Right. The first one's going to be, correct me if I'm wrong, Brenda, Thursday, December 27.
At 7 p.m. Eastern
7
time.
p.m.
So
Let's
that's
put it on your channel, Brenda, if that's
a couple of
okay.
days after Christmas.
Yeah, a couple days after Christmas. Thursday.
Oh, you want to have it on my channel, you say?
Yeah, let's alternate our channels. 1 week it'll be on yours, and 1 week it'll be on mine.
Well, let's start it out on your channel because I got the Christmas thing running.
Okay. All right. So
I plan to run that until January 1st, and then I'll be taking that down, and my channel will be good to go.
Well, then go to Awesome Wood Things on Thursday the 27th, 7 p.m. Eastern, and there'll be a new show called Mind Equals Blown. Brenda and I will be running the show, and it's going to be a train wreck and fun. It's fun. Is it crafting? No, but there's going to be some crafting. Is it woodworking? No, but there's going to be some woodworking. It's just fun. It's all about fun and talking about things that blow our minds.
Is it going to be fun?
I think it's going to be fun. Yep.
Is it going to be crafting?
There'll be a little bit of crafting, but primarily.
Is it going to be woodworking?
Is it going to be awesome?
All fun.
It's always awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
All right, so let's get out. Let's, hey guys, thank you for being out there in the chat. Liberty Woodworking out there. Jim Dockrell. Heck has got all that noise.
Dixon Hoffman's out there. I think he's got his microphone.
Fix his mic.
Oh, okay. The 7th microphone he tried.
Dixon, are you cracking your butt?
Is it working?
It's working.
It's working.
It works. Good old Windows updates. I gotta love them.
Oh yes. So have you been scratching your butt that whole time? And we
nope. I just got back on and tried it.
Well, we heard it.
Okay.
It cleared our ears. Trust me. And we're like,
6 sets of earphones and plugs sitting here, and none of them would work. I knew it wasn't. It was good old Windows updates. You gotta love them.
You always gotta love Windows updates.
Oh.
All right, so let me lock on myself and let's go back through chat a little bit. Aussie Man is out there. I appreciate you so very, very much. Buster Stott. Hi, Russ from I believe that's from Missouri. I hope that I'm doing that. Inspired Woodworks. Rusty Nails took the kids to see E.T. at the drive.
Hey, by the way, Russ, that's Missouri.
Missouri, okay, Missouri. Took the kids to see E.T. at the drive-in. Daughter was sitting on my lap when E.T. jumped out from behind the bush. My daughter would. All right, this can only be live. Rusty Nails puts in the chat. Took the kids to see E.T. at the drive-in. My daughter was sitting on my lap, and when E.T. jumped out from behind the bush, my daughter wet herself all over. LOL. So Rusty Nails, hey, I feel your pain. I have 4 daughters, and I've been blessed a few times. Trust me. Jim Doc. Did you know that reindeer steaks are really tasty? Jim, you are fixing to be on the very not only naughty list, the very bad. You don't eat reindeer.
Put you in time out there, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, come on. Inspired Woodworks. Fun fact for you two. My last name is its own syndrome. Okay, I don't understand.
Syndrome.
Okay. I don't understand that. Somebody can have to explain that to me. Jumbo 5312, or so you're going to be at Rocker before Christmas? No, I can tell you that. Inspired Woodworker said, Russ, it's a brotherhood. Yes, it was a brotherhood. When I worked with the volunteers at the fire department, we had a great, fantastic time. I'm going to tell you, those were some of the happiest days of my life working with those guys. We did a video where we had they had a Santa back in that day. It was a lot younger. I wasn't looking like Santa, and you would sit on Santa lap, and I sat on Santa lap, and they were videoing me. I had that on caption, and the Santa goes, "What would you like for Christmas, young man?" I said, "A Corvette and a blonde." They had that on video. A Corvette.
You're gonna poke your eye out with that thing?
Huh? Yeah, they wouldn't put your eye out with that thing. Inspired where's the chain was off, but even the guy running the saw was scared. Okay, I think I missed some of that stuff before.
That was the chainsaw malfunction.
Yeah, okay. Let's go Inspired. We had a farm near me that does Inspired Woodwork says we had a farm near me that does the whole Halloween thing. One time the blade on the saw fell between the slats in the wagon and nearly everyone jumped off. Oh, I would bet if that happened. Aussie man, they put Christmas stuff out that early down under. You have to watch real close the year to see, not for the shelves. Okay, not quite understanding what he was saying there.
Chris Nealon just popped in from
Morgan Spoonie Burger said, I went to Crackle Barrel during the summertime and Christmas stuff was already out during the summertime. Morgan Spoonie?
It could have been Christmas in July.
Yeah. We have, Jim Dockrell said, we have Thanksgiving in Canada in October. So I've heard that their Thanksgiving is in October, where our Thanksgiving is actually in November. I'm just trying to go back through some of the stuff on the chat. That's all I see. Anyway, all I see that is out there. If you want to inspire, there's actually a medical syndrome called
Schnitzler.
Yeah, it looks like Schnitzler.
Schnitzler syndrome.
It's often diagnosed. It deals with achy, stiffy joint pain. Well, if Schnitzler syndrome, I have it. I deal with achy, stiffy joint pain every day. Trust me.
Well, maybe it's misdiagnosed because nobody can pronounce it. How much I'm
a pain in her. Pain in her beep. Yeah, so I know she's achy and stiffy because of me.
Come on. Oops, I hope I'm
Katie, you know what? We haven't heard a lot from you tonight.
It seems like every time I unmute my mic, the dogs are chiming in for the last few minutes. I'm like,
well, do you have anything that you want to tell us?
Well, I brought this up in the before show chat. If anybody has not gone over to look at Steve Garrison's new video, it's about 3 weeks old. I'm doing conical seashells. It is wonderful. I'm going to post it in the Facebook. It is I can't figure out how somebody's brain goes to the point that they can figure out how to do this.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I was looking at them. I'm looking at them right now. It's just extraordinary.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, some people are just naturally talented like that, Katie.
Okay. Apparently so, and I'm not one of them.
Well, I'm like a lawyer or a doctor. I have a practice. Or something like that. See, Bella ain't gonna think so. Quiet.
Okay. That joke fell quiet.
No, I agree with you. What you're saying is Steve Garrison makes some absolutely fantastic shells, and he creates them on the scroll saw.
Yes.
Totally on the scroll saw. So
now on this one, now he does do some the angle cutting. He does do on the on his table saw, but he shows a jig that he set up to do the angle angled segments, and with the pattern is the instructions are a lot more detailed, I think. But this thing is just unbelievably gorgeous.
If I may ask so much, Al, if you would, Steve Garrison, do you know who he is?
Yes, let me find him.
If you can find him, and please post it into the chat there so everybody can find Steve Garrison. I would appreciate it so very much. I want to tell you, Al and Paul, they are on here with me every week and help me monitor, and so does Chris Ahern over there too. But to help me monitor my chat to make sure that people aren't doing things that we feel that it's inappropriate in the chat, and I appreciate them so very, very, very much.
He
Every
haven't
week,
told me out, but I paid him a lot of money.
yeah. Every week, Al and Paul and Chris are here. They have exclusive rights into my chat. They can delete you, remove you, whatever they need to do, because I trust them that much every week. So if you put something out there, and also we have the Autobots that will pick up if you say anything or put anything that is really, really not nice in the chat, they'll pick up and actually delete you out. So if you put something in there and it picks up on YouTube, Al and Paul and me and Chris might not have anything to do with it and might be picked up by the Autobots and remove you also.
So do you have any Decepticons out there in addition to Autobots?
Yeah,
By the way,
letting you know.
I did do one manually a little bit ago. I don't know if that's what you're speaking of, just for the record.
No, I didn't even know you did it. See, you were so efficient and so fluent that I didn't even know you did it.
You call them Autobots, but Santa calls them elves.
Well, here's the point. It doesn't matter if it's me. It doesn't matter if it's Al or Matt or Brenda or whoever that does their YouTube. You're always going to have these a-holes that are going to slip in there every now and then and try to say something or do something and disrupt the members or say something that's derogatory about you. Or
the protocol is ban first and figure it out later, because you don't want it bringing down the show, even if it's something.
It doesn't,
it can't.
It doesn't bother me. You can say whatever you want to about me.
But if it's taking the attention away from people watching, then that's detrimental.
I understand. But it doesn't. You can say whatever you want to about me in that show out there, out in that chat. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form.
I perma-banned someone, and the account name was Digital Führer. He was bad news.
I sit back and laugh at your ass because you're out there posting that stuff about me, and I think to myself, don't you have anything better to do during the daytime?
I don't understand.
It took you all day long to wait for that moment in my show that you could actually post that about me. Wow.
There's people that want to bring everyone else down
much
to their
energy. You spent so much energy to do that. Bless your heart.
Oh, there's the Southern bless your heart.
That's the Southern thing, right?
That's the kiss of death right there. Oh, bless her heart.
Hey, that link is out in the chat that you were wanting, Russ.
Thank you.
Steve Garrison one.
Steve Garrison.
I hope it's the right Steve Garrison.
But I mean, if you waited all day long to probe, I am not such that big of a figure that your little post over there means a whole hell of a lot of beans. So if I think more of this. I cherish the moment that you did that because you wasted all your day on me. Thank you so very much for thinking about me. I really appreciate it. Put
And bless your heart.
Yeah, bless your heart. Put your nonsense out there because it doesn't bother. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my show. It doesn't affect those out there that are watching me. It doesn't affect the panel. It just shows how much of a dumbass you really are.
I hope no one's misinterpreting this as a challenge.
Well, I hope so not either. But either way it goes, it doesn't really. I've learned a long time ago. I learned a long time ago that you're not going to have people that love you, and you're not always going to have people that cherish you, and you're not always going to have people that like you and say good things about you. You're going to have those out there for envious reasons, for other reasons, for any other kind. It's just you're not going to be the most likable person on the earth. And I've come to a point in my life, and I really have, that I'm happy with who I am, and I'm happy with what I am doing.
Hey, Russ.
Speaking of likable people, Steve Good's out in the chat.
And so therefore, let me finish what I'm trying to say. Therefore, I'm happy with who I am and what I'm doing. So therefore, I know there's going to be people out there. They're going to make derogatory statements or derogatory remarks or do everything they can do within their power to say something bad about me. Does it bother me? No. I keep on waking up tomorrow morning. I keep on a smile on my face, and I keep on doing what I'm doing.
And
it's never for one moment brought me down, and it's never for one moment made a difference in what we've done for this show, for my channel, or anything else. So, when Matt says you're actually antagonizing them, tell them to bring it on. No, I'm not. But in the same aspect, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. If you feel that in your heart, that's what you got to do and bring it on. Go ahead.
I don't understand why people pull this stuff when they could use the same amount of energy. That's like, I had mentioned people that were buying negative views on other people's channels. They could have used that money to do some good somewhere.
Yeah.
You could take the same time that you're cutting somebody else down to build another person up. It's your time, your money, your efforts, and you can be positive or negative with it, and
they want you to be negative like they are.
Yeah, I know. Bless their hearts.
Just do what I do. I agree and amplify. I'm like,
Brenda, did you say that? Bless your heart. I said that. When I said bless your heart, where did that come from? Did you say that too?
It's a southern saying, and it has several meanings depending on how it's inflicted.
Yeah, up north here, when there's a troll on, we don't say bless your heart, which is cool that you say that. We say shut your pie hole.
Well, bless your heart can have a number of
yeah, it has a number of meanings depending on the infliction.
Depending on the infliction and the situation. It's like people who say, well, I'll pray for you. That can be nice.
Yeah, I'll pray for you. That would be good too. I'll pray for you too. All your negativity needs to be shuttled into some other way into society other than on my pitiful little ass. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, bless your heart can be the one finger Southern salute.
That's like I've had people tell me how polite Southerners are. And I'm like, yes, we are. We'll smile and say, excuse me, every time we pull the trigger.
Oh, that's not always the case, young lady.
Well, we can tell you to go to hell and make you look forward to the trip.
No, but I'm saying that Southerners polite. My reply is that we smile and say "excuse me" every time we pull the trigger.
We can tell you what, Brenda. What did you say again?
We can tell you to go to hell and make you look forward to the trip.
Yeah.
I have never heard that.
Is that what's called Southern hospitality?
Yeah.
That's funny. We can.
I would move down there just for the cooking, the Southern cooking.
Oh yeah,
the food.
Southern cooking. There ain't nothing better than a pot of black-eyed peas and hog jowl.
Ah, gross.
Man.
Biscuits and gravy.
Steve Good, we got enough room for Steve Good in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here. Yeah. My friend Steve Good wants in on this.
I sent him a link already.
You sent a link?
Yes, on his Facebook page.
Well, he just said no link yet.
Yeah. I mean, look. Yeah, I mean.
I sent you the URL.
Are you sure you put it on Facebook, Al, or did you put it on Twitter?
No, it's on Facebook. At 11 p.m.
He's on Twitter.
Is that the wrong one?
Oh, you chose Friendster.
Right on point. You know, we've had up to 40-something people. We've got 33 people watching right now. I've got 27 thumbs up, and I haven't even asked for a thumbs up tonight. And I'm going to tell you, everyone that is out there has already given me a thumbs up. I appreciate it so very. 27 thumbs up already, and there were 5 when I started the show. I noticed that myself.
I pressed the thumbs up button 6 times.
So guys, thank you so very much. And those of you, because we have 38 people watching right now, so we need to get that 29. It went jump from 27 to 29.
30.
I love you guys.
31.
Guys, thank you so very much. Thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so very much.
That's the power of the guilt trip.
No, it's not the power of the guilt trip. It's just, you know, when we do these shows, and like tonight is the most this show by no means should be the best show I've ever done. I've had so many woodworkers who've come on, Steve Carmichael, I can't think of some of their names that have all come on and contributed really great stuff to this show. And then we do every once in a while, we do these inappropriate, or well, I say inappropriate,
off the cuff.
Informal shows like tonight. And we get a really good response out there. That's when you say to yourself, thank you. And when I know I've said this before, but thank you so very much. But for continuing to watch, it's not always as informal. It's not always that we don't have stuff to provide.
I think the adult beverages are helping too.
I can't get content every week. I'm running out of woodworkers. When you've been doing this for 4 years now, going on 4 years,
you got to loop back around and do some doubles.
Yeah, 4 years. At 50 shows, let's just say I did 4 years at 40 shows a year. That's 160 woodworker shows that I've done with 160 different woodworkers. I'm not saying that there's a lot more of you YouTuber guys out there that I haven't found yet, but you need to come and contact me and let me know that you want to be on my show, and I'd love to have you. So my point is, I need your input.
Russ,
point over here. Yes.
I'm calling you out. There's 1,295 people that liked the woodworkers and makers on YouTube. So you got more.
So I need you guys, if you want to be on the show, if you want to be one of those woodworkers that I highlight every week, come on and be on here. Come on and be on here. I'm welcome to you. Trust me, if you contact me at Russ at simplywoodencreations.com and say, I'd like to be on this week's show, I guarantee I'm not going to turn you down. Okay. So, you have to have a camera, obviously, and audio and a video. hookup, but I'm not going to turn you down. So if you'd like,
no dogs. You shouldn't have any dogs.
And a microphone, Dixon.
Yes, you got to have a mic.
you got to have a mic.
You don't need mics. You have to have windows.
And you don't need to sit there and scratch on them just to make sure that we're hearing.
You should have 6 backup mics though, just in case.
Yeah.
And my good friend Steve Good is on here tonight.
Hey, hi Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Whose link worked, mine or Al's?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to. Oh, it was Al's.
Oh,
Yes, I
no.
win. Yes.
how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing real good. Sorry, I got in here so late. I was down actually cleaning house of all
Are
things.
you? Were you?
Oh, really? You want directions to my place? I can use
Yeah.
Are you better? Are you feeling better than you were?
Finally today, or actually yesterday, I started feeling better. So yeah, I'm getting there. I'm still a little hoarse, but I really never felt that bad. I just had all the symptoms.
Little horse or pony?
Yeah, exactly.
I could go places with that. I don't think you guys want me to go there.
I got a little half-ass out in the pasture. So
Here we go. Remember, guys, this is supposed to be PG-13, please.
well, it's a little mule. It's a little mini mule. He's a little bitty guy. He's a mule, so he's half donkey. He's half ass. So that's what you gotta.
Whatever.
Oh, you got Katie wound up. Careful.
Yeah, I know.
Steve, you've already got people in the chat wanting to know what kind of 3D printer you got back there.
That one is the Kitty. It's a QIDI Tech. It's out of China. Well, they're all out of China.
They're all out of China.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to be making any 3D patterns?
Say that again. Am I going to?
You know how you come up with patterns for scroll saw, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing any 3D printer patterns too, or STL files, or?
I actually have 1 or 2 up on my blog right now. They're just like little tools and stuff I've created. But you can take almost any of my scroll saw patterns and turn them into 3D patterns. Yeah, you just extrude them. Yeah, I do that.
You bring them right into Kira, and you can extrude them how many millimeters high you want them.
Yep.
Very
Actually,
nice.
I'd just like to point out one thing. Javi from Hobby's Workshop. You know who I'm talking about? Steve Good?
Yep.
Say that again, Russ.
Javi. You know
Yeah, I
who?
know Hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, Javi. He did a thing the other night live where he took a lot of your scroll saw patterns and showed people how to download them and turn them into a CNC pattern.
Oh, cool. I
On
always,
Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, for the Christmas ornaments.
yeah, that's cool. The
About 6
CNC,
patterns.
the CNC with my patterns is a little more difficult because a lot of them you need such a small bit on your CNC machine that it becomes too slow. Some of my Christmas ornaments can take 6-8 hours to cut on a CNC machine.
Yep.
Well, I want to say the first one he did was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it gets a little slow. When you can cut 12 of them by the time the CNC does one, that don't work.
Yeah. But my point was he did call you out as far as saying that, yeah, this is Steve Good's scroll saw patterns, and we're going to turn them in tonight into CNC pattern. I'm going to show you how you can down-load them and turn it into.
Where did you do that? Did you do it on Facebook or YouTube or where?
He did it on YouTube. It was scrolling
YouTube.
Hobby's Workshop or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll give you. I'll talk to you tomorrow, I'll give you the link.
8
he
o'clock's on
full
Friday.
credit. He's saying that I'm taking Steve Good's scroll saw patterns and I'm going to turn them into a CNC pattern. So.
You know what's funny? My user base of laser people and CNC machines is starting to catch up with the scroll saw people.
Wow.
Yeah, I would bet that. Yes.
Yeah, especially the laser guys. It's a lot easier for them to use my patterns.
Yes. Exactly. And I would just appreciate one thing. Quit frigging doing the patterns. I look at you posted that pattern like today or was it yesterday of the Bible and
yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, God, when does your brain go to sleep?
Yeah. When you've done it, this is going on 13 years. I've done this now.
I understand that, but
Yes,
would you just
get to the point? You get to the point where it's kind of just autopilot, So, and the other thing is, there's nothing new under the sun. There's no pattern I've ever put out that somebody someplace somewhere hadn't done before. I mean, it's just, you know, so.
I understand that. I really understand that. But when I wake up every morning and I get your email, and I do get your email every day, trust me, my friend, and I open it up, and I look forward to opening up your email, and I see that pattern, I'm going, you sorry son. I had thought about that, and I don't know how many times I've said to myself, I got to get rid of this damn hat. I've thought about that pattern so many times before and didn't do it. You know, it's not a jest that I really thought about that pattern, but when I see all the patterns that you produce overnight, and it's like, and I know we've talked about this before. Where the hell do you?
The patterns are not the hard part, Russ. The patterns are the easy part. I only spend about 2 hours on the patterns. I spend another 5 or 6 hours on all the other stuff, the business part of it. That's the hard part. The patterns are easy.
Yeah, well, and you know, of all the people that I've known on this planet, you are the most generous person as far as
yeah, don't overemphasize that too much, because keep in mind, what I do for free brings me my money.
Oh,
you know,
I agree. I totally.
I'm not Santa Claus.
I totally agree that, but the point still boils down to the fact that you make all these patterns and don't charge not 1 cent. And I agree, it brings in your revenue.
Here's the deal, Russ. I make more money giving them away for free than I would selling them.
You're Santa Claus compared to other companies.
Yes,
they're selling a lot of kits, a lot of different patterns and groups, and
isn't that amazing? Isn't that
business model work? You give it away
develop
for
a
free.
company.
What they haven't figured out is how big the internet is. It's silly to try to sell stuff on the internet. You'll make way more money giving it away, and nobody understands that, or a lot of people don't understand that yet.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'll devise this company. I'm going to make patterns. I'm going to give them all away, but yet I'm going to make money. It works.
Now, the other side of that, if I'd have made $1 off of every pattern that was downloaded, I'd have a little over $47 million right now.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of it.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Couldn't you write it off as a loss, as a business expense?
My accountant takes care of all that stuff for me. I'm the artiste. I don't deal with the money.
You're just having fun, are you not?
I'm having a blast, and it's if I had retired without this, I don't know what condition I would be in right now. Because if I went and sat in my recliner, I think I'd die in a year. So this keeps me moving, keeps me active. If anything else, it's kept me healthier. So
yeah, you're developing patterns. You're going out and cut them in your shop, and you're back and forth. I want to make sure this is going to cut today, or good as it was that I put it out. So you'll go cut it out, and then you'll show people, hey, I cut this out.
It's fine.
I understand.
Anytime I got a laser or something, after I found out about Steve, he's the first website I go to, and I found it out. I found it out from Russ.
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. It's fun.
Well, I want to tell you, this man, from the day I met him and how we met was so. I'll tell you how I met him. He started out first off, I ran across him on the internet and started seeing his scroll saw patterns, and I was amazed. And they once again, they're all for free. This is been 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh no, way longer than that. Let's go back about 8 years.
Okay, so, and then he started this little forum thing where he was going to have a forum where people could come and join his forum, and they could share patterns and do stuff and talk back and forth, and just an open forum. So when he started his forum, I was one of the probably within the first 10, maybe.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, probably the first 10 that joined his forum, and I'm like, hey, I'm following this guy. he's going somewhere. I know he is. He's a great guy. And so when he was starting saying, I'm trying to do this forum and everything, and he was reaching out and saying, would anybody like to be a moderator of the forum? So I reached out to him and I said, hey, I'd love to be a moderator on your forum. If there's anything I can do for you, you know, I sent him all the information, whatever I had or whatever. And he sent me back and he said, hey, Russ, am I telling the truth, Steve?
Yep. You have on that forum, I'm looking right now, you have 8,458 posts. And I don't see the date. The date you registered was April 19th, 2010.
Are those the number of posts that he's got to go back and look at and moderate? Is that what that
No,
is?
those are the ones he actually wrote.
Right. So I was like, you know, if you want me to be a moderator, so I was chosen as one of the first, if not the first moderator.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story, guys, about Russ. I get an email from this guy one time in the forum, and he's all pissed off. He's mad at Russ because Russ said boo to him or something, you know. And so Russ emailed me and said, look, this guy's being kind of a jerk, you know. What do you want me to do about it? So I emailed this guy back, and I said, look, Russ has been working for me for like 3 years. He's never taken a dime for it. He probably works harder than I do, and you want me to fire him? I said, I think you're in trouble, buddy.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember who we're talking about, too. Very good about who we're talking about. We're not going to mention his name, though, but
I don't remember who it was. It's been so many years ago now.
it starts with the C, like in Cha.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it starts with a C, so we know who we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, I asked him to be a moderator, and he did, and we have been friends ever since. And to be honest with you, I think during that whole, and I'm still the moderator on there. I think during all this time as being moderator on your channel, I think maybe I banned 5 people in all these years. 5 people in all these years. I think, Steve.
Yeah,
He beamed up and now he's back.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I think in all these years, maybe I've banned 5 people. Maybe 5 people in all these years.
Yeah, probably. I've probably banned 200 or 300.
Yeah. So
Well, 6 counting Sterling.
Well, my point is you didn't have that bad of a bunch of people that
no.
You'd have this every once in a while person that come in and would post porn, and you'd have to get rid of them. But on the actual level of being people that were really a pain in the butt to come in and they would start trying to tell other people what they were doing wrong and all this other kind of stuff with this chachi kind of guy try to do. You really didn't have that group of people that really, yes, you're going to have that group that comes in that's going to post porn or try to link you to your porn site or whatever that would filter through it. But yeah, overall,
those aren't real people. Those are just
overall, I think I only banned like 5 people in all the years that I ever did it. That were really people that were really needed to be banned. In other words,
yeah, it's been a pretty easy forum to maintain. But I mean, it's not that big of a forum, and people don't find it that aren't looking for scroll saw related stuff. I was trying to look and see. I know there's less than. I think there's like 50 or 60,000 subscribers to the forum, something like that. It's not very many. So, you know,
it's not very many.
Well, as forum, so, and of all those people, you're only talking probably 10% who, you know, actually post, probably less than that.
Yeah.
And most people just go there and read.
I just find it interesting that that's how he and I met. And it's carried on throughout the years. We just stayed friends we've actually gotten to meet 2 or 3 times. The woodworking show in Atlanta a couple of times. And
are you going to Atlanta, Russ, this year?
Yes, I plan it. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm going to go up there. I enjoy meeting him every time I actually get to see him.
Atlanta woodworking show, has that been canceled or? likely?
No,
to
it
be
hasn't been
canceled?
canceled that I know of. I know there's a big turmoil in the woodworking show thing that's going on. Actually, Peachtree is the biggest promotion of the woodworking show. And from what I understand, Peachtree is backing out of the woodworking shows this year because their promoter that was the number one person in that thing promoting for Peachtree, something happened. They either got real sick or something, they backed out. So
It's always been a little bit of a turmoil between Peachtree and the promoters of that show. Anyway,
yes, and
it's always
so
a little rough. So,
but from my understanding, the Atlanta woodworking show is still going on with or without Peachtree. So that's
if Peachtree's not there, it will definitely hurt the show because they
Yes,
are a major contributor to that show. And
Yes.
I don't know if you had a chance to meet the owner of Peachtree Woodworking, but he's an incredible individual. You know, not only is he a multi-millionaire and a mega business owner, but he actually does demos at the show. I mean, he jumps in with, you know, both feet and hits the floor running. So
should I book my hotel room or not? Is really the question.
I would book it.
I got an air flight to get, a hotel to get.
Yeah, I would book it, and I would say it's from my understanding, it's going to be in the same revenue and the same hotel. And I've been talking to Zach over at Southern Woodworkers, and I believe it's all going to be the same this year.
Just book your hotel room with the option to cancel within 24 hours before the event.
Right.
That'd be the thing. Cost you a little more, but
Not so easy with an airline ticket.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a feeling it's going to come on. Let me tell you, nobody in this room is any more excited than I am about the Atlanta Woodworking Show. I've been there for the last 3-4 years, and I want to tell you, I'm just as excited as all of y'all are. So,
you know what? When all the YouTubers got together in the restaurant that night, that was a blast, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was a blast. So, just if you need any information, because I'm going to be posting out and getting in touch with Zach Mannering, which is over at Southern Woodworkers, and he's one of the ramrods of the woodworking show in Atlanta. He is dealing with some of the people of the woodworking show, not Peachtree, but do the wood. So we'll get the information and put it out there. Don't get me wrong, because it's going to be at the end of February, March, right in that. They moved it up. It used to be at the tag end towards April, but I know it's now in the
March 15th and 16th or something like that.
Yeah.
Day weekend, yeah.
So it's pretty early. It used to be actually postponed into April. The first time I went was in April.
Yeah,
it wasn't in March. So
I set Maker's Rock to be due on the 12th, so it would be before that show.
Yeah. So we'll get in contact with them and make sure. If you have any doubts, just let me know, Steve Goodnow or whatever, and we'll all keep in touch with. Because I know Southern Woodworkers, and I want to promote them. Southern Woodworkers on Facebook, on YouTube, and everything. Not YouTube, but Southern Woodworkers on Facebook. They have their own page. So with Zach, he is really on top of stuff and keeping that informed. And I guarantee you that he'll have it out there. So Southern Woodworkers on Facebook, just get in contact with him or like them and then ask him some questions right on the page. And he will keep you informed as to the Atlanta Woodworking Show this year.
Yeah, I'll have some information on my blog soon too, because I'm going to be, if all goes well, I'll be a member of, or a part of one of the booths. So if the booth don't happen, then I'll know there's a problem, and I should know that real soon.
Yeah. So I hope to see as many as you can come up there, because that is really, really, it's really a great time. You get to see so many fantastic tools. And they have really great deals. Don't get me wrong. I bought some tools up there for prices that I could never have paid for them anywhere else. And 2 years ago, actually been 3 years ago now, I bought a full-blown jet drill press at the show at such an incredible deal. and I brought it home in my wife's Camaro. A full floor stand drill press.
Nice.
I brought it home. They bubble wrapped it. We took it apart and we put it in bubble wrap, and we put every piece in my wife's Camaro. The hardest part was the pipe, because it's a floor model, was that one piece of pipe. It went from the floorboard on the driver's side up behind her seat over there, and we pulled it down enough that we could close. She has a convertible Camaro. We closed the Camaro top over the top of it. We brought it home. She goes, "If you mess up my Camaro, you know you're going to catch hell when you get home."
Yeah, that could have been a really expensive tour.
Yeah, we had that. You know, we went up there with the Camaro riding really high. When it come back, it was riding really low. That was an extra couple 100 pounds, and my fat butt didn't help any.
That's a good tip, though, is to make offers on the show floor demonstration unit.
That's what I did, and I got it for so much.
I think that's how Tim Sway got his laser. He went to a show in the
last show of the year, which is not Atlanta. Then you can get really good deals.
Yeah, that's North Carolina, Charlotte. Yeah,
I always want to walk out with that clamping.
I just want to stop just for 1 second. 34 people have given me a thumbs up. 34 people at this moment have given me a thumbs up. And I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you. Each and every one of you have done that. It really means a lot to me.
There's still 32 watching.
Well, that's more than the thumbs up. I mean, I got more thumbs up than people watching. So I'm going to say, guys, I know this has been kind of an informal show tonight, and we didn't have a direction or a woodworker to show in the path that we went on tonight. But when I look back and I see that, thank you. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I really do.
Yeah, I only had to make 28 accounts, Russ.
Well, Al, we'll talk about what I have to pay you tomorrow.
Bless your heart, Al.
Which bless your heart is that now?
Oh, which inflection?
Hey, I want to tell you, did you see this? I haven't shown anything. I did this real quick out on my CNC. I did the pattern and everything and carved it out. And I have become such a fan of MDF for the CNC.
Oh, yeah.
I hate MDF. I really do, because everything you have to say or do with it, it's like it gets too much moisture. It does this or whatever. But when you want to make a clean cut, as far as it be uniform across the top, and if you say you want it like 3 millimeters deep all across the top, MDF just cuts so very good. All I did was spray paint this about 3 or 4 coats of red on top, laid the board down, and touched it to the center, which the center was right there actually, and told it to go for it, and it cut through. The precision, because you don't have to look at
who fell out
all the grains of it. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it works great. It's so flat. MDF is so flat. It works great.
Flat. Yeah, and the precision of it was so great. It's like I've done 2 or 3 of these.
Oh, look what Steve has.
All of this is the only one I have left right here.
Where'd that come from, Russ?
I gave that to Steve when we were up there at the last
the Atlanta show. Hanging on my wall.
Time to make some sawdust.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I'm all about sawdust until my friends start sending it to me in birthday gifts.
Well, you didn't appreciate that very much.
Box after box after box after box after box.
It was a kit. You were supposed to put some glue and put it back together.
Some of y'all don't remember what happened.
I remember it.
Yeah, I was like, I did a little thing, my little end of the thing is just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust. Well, my friends thought it really, really funny to send me packages and say, "Don't open it up until your birthday." And I got these packages in. And I want to tell you.
And he kept getting packages.
I was sitting there going like,
And
I told my wife, "Look, they're sending this stuff to me."
wow.
Yeah, you're laughing your ass off, Al, but it wasn't funny.
Sure it was.
And I'm like, I thought to myself, "Oh my God, they actually love me this much?" And they all were like, "Oh, yeah, open up on your birthday." And I did.
Some of the people.
Every frigging box was sawdust. Sawdust.
Oh.
I got mine specifically at Harbor Freight for you, young man, so don't give me no huff.
I'm gonna get some from Lowe's.
It would have been a lot worse in that box than sawdust.
Well,
Just,
all I
I'll
have
tell
is
you what, talk to yourself for just 1 second. Let me go over here and look for something.
Oh boy.
It was the gift that keeps on giving all year round.
He's turning the show over to us.
Some of the people in the chat are talking about what it cost them to get to Atlanta, and Inspired Woodwork said he spent $1,300 in gas.
Wow.
He did 7 miles per gallon on his car. I asked him if it was a train engine, but he didn't. But he had a truck.
Might be time for a new
You gotta
car.
tell him. You gotta tell him to take the brake off.
Yeah,
1,300.
These
Good
vendors that
grief.
travel to these shows, they spend a ton of money. They have to sell a lot of product at these shows to make
oh yeah,
for the
yeah.
hotel room and the gas and
It's tough
Easy.
to cover that cost,
yeah. Most of the time they don't cover it.
right?
It's just advertising.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We'll have to 3D. We'll have to get together and 3D print a miniature blower and put it in his box of sawdust with a switch, so when he opens it, it blows it all out.
He's always saying, "Give me sawdust."
Yeah.
We gave him sawdust, didn't we?
I thought it was a very thoughtful gift.
I thought that's what he wanted.
Just give me a laser engraver.
Yeah. That's what he's got to do. Change his song.
Lots of
Who was,
lasers.
who was the company at the woodworking show that had that laser engraver? Do you guys remember?
Was it Universal, something like that, or
Oh, here I have it up here.
They made those. They cut those little boxes. The little,
Epilogue laser.
Epilogue. That's what it was. Let me look.
Oh yeah, they're top of the line. That's going to cost some money for an epilogue.
Yeah, they're really nice though.
He's like,
There's-
"Epa lady."
Here we
They're-
go.
they're-
Can you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't an Epilady laser.
No, not epilogue.
That's what I cut. That's what I
Yeah.
cut the album on.
They're ready to go, but you could buy 6 of the Chinese ones for the price of that, and just
Yeah.
tear out the controls, and you're good to go.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, they
they
want
want to
9
sponsor
grand.
my show.
Yeah, that's probably for the smallest one they make.
the tubes in those Chinese lasers? The one I had only lasted 6 months, and if you run it at 100% power, that's about the norm. So
I've been running mine for about 15 years now. The Chinese one.
Wow.
What kind you got?
The Chinese Ford K40.
K40.
Maybe they
Yeah.
made it
Okay.
before they could figure out how to cheapen it up.
I ripped out the controls and I run it on Mach 3.
Hmm.
And right now last week I put a JTEC on my CNC so I could do bigger pieces of slabs of like logs.
How many watt laser is it?
I am so sorry I took
40 watt laser.
Is it a tabletop or does it have a Z-axis?
It's a tabletop and I use the Z to activate the switch because I don't have pulse width modulation. It had
Right.
that, but I yanked all the controls out and I use it just for cutting wood. And you can only cut like a little bit over 1/8 inch with it.
Yeah.
But the JTEC that I just put on my CNC now, I have to buy that DAC board so I can get the pulse width modulation because I want to do photos on that one.
That the K40 that I had, I loved it because it was so cheap. It was like $325, and
It's $400 on.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked great.
Yeah.
You got to remember, yeah, back when I bought
Y'all
mine,
didn't even acknowledge the fact that I'm back.
Oh, love it.
Where are you?
Russ is back.
Oh, Russ is here.
Did y'all know Russ was back?
Yeah, because I just wanted to say I'm sorry I took so long, but I knew I had it over there. It just took me a minute to get to it.
Russ, the professionals in the room, try to cut out
Remember
the
when I said
hair.
everybody sent me sawdust?
You still have it?
Just give me
There's
sawdust.
every bag that everybody sent me in one box.
Are you going to make sawdusto into it?
And there's all y'all's contributions.
We were discussing a plan for next year, but we
Yeah,
can't
there's
tell you
all-
what it is. It had something to do with 3D printing a
This
blower.
is all y'all's contributions to all the packages that I received from everybody's sawdust.
Hey, Russ.
There's mine. Harvey
Hey, Russ. Paul suggested that you change your theme song. Tell him what you said, Paul.
I want a laser engraver.
Just give me lasers.
So for that birthday, which I was opening up the boxes thinking, this is all everybody. I kept every one of them. I told you I did. It took me a minute to get to it. I'm sorry it took me so long because I wanted to dig this out just to prove a point. But everybody sent me bags, and everybody that sent me the bag of sawdust is right in here with your names on it.
Is all you have?
Address. Cover my address up.
And now they're on the naughty list.
People's
We
addresses.
know.
So, like I'm saying, so thank you all for the. They went like, well, Russ, every week you go, just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust. I'm like, yeah, well, you know why you keep getting coal in your stockings?
As long as it's not Shane Cole, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Just mix it with your Elmer's glue, and you'll have your MDF.
Everybody is, that box is full of everybody that sent me that sawdust. And trust me, I look at it from time to time and I'm like, what a bunch of assholes.
Dump some glue in there, and you have your MDF.
I got yelled at for talking about my little mini mule out in the pasture, and
Russ is dropping A-bombs left and right.
you dropped the A-bomb about 4 or 5 times since then.
I want to say, when I got that and I opened it up,
Now he's going to change the subject.
Right?
Some of y'all sneaked it to my wife. Somebody sneaked to my, because she knew what was going on. And I didn't know that. I don't know who told my wife, but she knew what was going on when I was getting this package. Because you got another package for your birthday. I'm going like, hey, she knew it. She knew it. I don't know who y'all out there bled it to her, but she knew it. And I'm going like, and I'm thinking like, and because she stood at the door that night when I was opening them, and she just had this big smirky smile on her face. And I went like, and I was thinking, I'm like, guys, I want to tell you, there is so much love in that box. Yes, I know I'm sitting here. I know I'm sitting here and I'm bitching about that I got only sawdust. But for you guys that sent me the sawdust, that was so, just to think about the fact that you were going to send me the sawdust, that you thought about me was so fantastic. I'm not griping and complaining that I only got sawdust. It was so funny that I got that box, and because every day I go, just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I got it all from my friends that watch me on the air. So yeah, thank you. I
think people are okay with getting some coal in their stocking.
Yeah,
especially if they've got a big shop and they need to heat it. So they'll probably be doing a lot of bad things.
Yeah, but yeah, I just had to point that out. They sent me bags of sawdust.
By the way, Russ, my sawdust was not just any sawdust. I was cutting Steve Good patterns on my scroll saw, and I collected the sawdust and put it in there because I know
magic sawdust.
That's right.
It's all good.
Hey, Russ, I was just looking at the woodworking show in Atlanta, their list of exhibitors, and they showed 0 exhibitors so far. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yep,
They've
that's
got
not
the
good.
seminars. The seminars are set up. There's several.
Well, I'm worried about that too because of what I heard. Like I said, Peachtree's pulling out of it. So they were their biggest, one of the big things that Peachtree. Actually, if you remember whatever you bought in there, even though it was from like Klingspor or this or who was in there, all went through Peachtree terminals to pay for everything.
You know how most companies in the United States import stuff from China and they sell it here? Peachtree is one of the few companies in the United States that actually exports as much product to China as they sell in the US. It's an amazing company, and it's run by a man and his wife. They're probably in their mid to late 40s.
I went to the main Peachtree store in Atlanta.
Yeah, I did too.
Rob Austin took me to there and showed me where the Gwinnett woodworkers have their woodworking thing there. So yeah, Rob took me through there and told me about it, and I talked to some of the guys that were there at Peachtree. Well, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, I hope it doesn't defunct due to the fact that so many of us go there just on purpose to go to the wonderful show and meet each other.
Let's just meet at your house this time.
Yeah.
I was at the New England show. The vendors aren't listed for New England either.
It may
That's
just,
only 2 months away.
yeah, they may just not have updated yet.
Yeah, I got to turn my. You're not going to hear this often, but I'm going to turn my AC off because I'm getting cold.
Hey, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later.
See you, Paul.
Take care, Paul.
Have a nice evening, Paul.
Night, everybody.
I'm glad your
Night,
workshop's
Paul.
almost not messy.
Okay, so I think Russ wanted to come in. I'll send him the link
Meadows, yeah.
to the end. Well, actually, come on in,
We're
Russ.
still live.
I guess it's there, yeah.
Yeah, why did Paul left? He had to leave.
Yeah. And Russ
Yeah, he
is.
said he was tired of you.
Oh well.
Russ, I'm on my way out too. Thanks for having me.
Night, Matt.
See you, Matt.
Why?
Hey, everyone.
What is this? It's like only 10 o'clock at night.
We've been almost 2 hours on the show.
We're bringing Russ Meadows in, guys.
Russ Meadows is coming, Matt.
Oh, well. Hi, Russ. Bye, Russ. Is he here? There he is.
Here I am. I don't know how it took so long of a time to get here, but I'm here, by God.
He just swam ashore. I pushed him off the boat.
Good night,
Yeah.
Matt.
All right,
If you
folks.
have to go, you have to go. We're not
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Bye, Matt.
Merry Christmas.
Uh,
Yeah, it took me that long to get back after he dumped me overboard. It's a long time. That's a long way out.
you gotta
Had
get
to
back
fight
there.
many
Get back
sharks.
out, man.
Well,
Oh man.
I do want to recognize this has not been the most formal show that we've had, and that there's been a lot of shenanigans and a lot of talk about things. And like, for instance, my birthday present with all the sawdust and everything. I tried.
caught that.
I try. Yeah, you contributed that. I try really every week, and I have put this out there, and I will put this out there one more time into the chat and for everybody to know. If you want to be on the show, all you have to do is contact me, Russ at simplywoodencreations.com, with what you have to offer. As far as, I would love to have us come into your shop and be able to see what you can do, or you can video some of your stuff that you do and then replay the videos. We've done that several times because the people don't have the live capabilities of being out in their shop and doing things. So they videotaped Donald Matthews for one time. I think he turned a pin, and he videotaped what he went through the process of turning it and putting it together. So you can video those type of things, and then you can screen share them and talk us through what the things that you did. But you have to have obviously a video camera and a microphone and some kind of high-speed internet access. be able to come onto the show. But I am putting it out there. If you would like to be on the show and show off some of the stuff, scrolling, whether it be turning or whatever you do, all you have to do is contact me at Russ at simplywoodencreations.com. And I'd love to really, myself and the panel would love to have you on here to show what kind of stuff you do. So I just wanted to put that out there just to let everybody know.
So we can go around and do people we've done before.
Do what?
We can go around and go back to the list of people we've had in the past.
Oh, I thought about the other day, and like I said, this is going on to the 4th year now.
Yeah,
and
so for 4 years, we've got different viewers now.
Yeah, so 4 years, and then when you take, let's say that we only, I don't think we've done a full. There's what is it, 52 weeks in a year? So I know that the first year I did only miss 2 or 3 shows, but just let's take 45 shows per year. And so that's 45 and 45 is 90 for 4 years. That's 180 woodworkers. Potentially, I know not every show, but 180 woodworkers that we have shown on this show in the last 4 years. So yeah, you start to run out of people that you start to ask to come on to the show because you've already asked them, they've already been on. And I know there's some repeats, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot like Steve Carmichael, some really great. He's the one that comes off to my mind, Steve Good. But there's only so many times you can bring them back on before you start to recover your stuff. And I'd really like to reach out to those of you who are just starting. You know, the new guys. I don't want some of the big guns. This is not what this show is about. This is shows about that whoever wants to reach out to me and be on the show, I'd love to have you on the show. Whether you're small, whether you have 100 viewers or 100 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers. That's not what we are looking for. We just want to promote you out there on the show. So,
hey, Russ.
Yes.
Let me do a screen share. I'm going to show you something, and you tell me if you guys would be interested in seeing this. Tell me when my screen share is up.
It's up.
I did a seminar just the other day for a group where I showed how to cut aluminum on the scroll saw.
Oh, wow.
Types of parts, even down to these aluminum rings, which is 1/4 inch thick aluminum.
Nice.
And then how to add textures to it, how to stamp it, different ways to do it. And then what I did is I did a series of videos, and I won't go through these videos, but I did a series of videos showing how to cut them, how to, do it and all this kind of stuff. If that's something you guys would be interested in, I could do that for you, Russ.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
that
indeed.
looks really cool, Steve. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Here's the little ring that I just finished cutting. And I go through and show how to polish it, and all the different
Let's plan on that.
Steve, there was the thing you did with the Gwinnett woodworkers on cutting the paper.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
That's an interesting one too.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And this is real similar to that. You still use the plywood. It's not a sandwich. It's a half a sandwich cut. The paper, you use a sandwich to cut it.
Yeah.
Whereas the aluminum, you just use half. And you do have to use a little cutting oil in that.
Yeah, I kind of wish I'd thought about the paper one a little bit earlier.
Let's plan on that right after the
first of the year.
First of the year.
Okay, we can do that.
The paper one would have been great if we'd have thought of it earlier for making your own Christmas cards and stuff.
Yeah, I had a lot of people that I made Christmas card patterns for this year for their family. And the neat thing is you take one pattern and you cut 25, 30, 40 cards all at one time. You cut one of them and you're done.
Yeah.
Literally you get 50 cards in an hour. So
yeah.
Hang on a second. Show the guys
the next week is going to be the Christmas. I'm not sure if we're going to have a particular woodworker or a particular guest, but I'm going to work toward that person. But
for anybody out there that didn't know, this is what she's talking about. These were cut on a scroll saw. Just the whoops.
No, go ahead.
And that's cardboard or
It's just cardstock.
Yeah, cardstock.
Yep. Cut with a scroll saw.
Yeah, you put these between two pieces of plywood and you cut out the pattern. And like I say, you can cut 40 or 50 of them at a time because they're so thin. So you cut this out, and of course it takes you longer to fold them than it does to cut them practically. So you get your whole Christmas card unit out in an hour.
Yeah.
That is neat. I like that.
Christmas cards, you can do custom birthday cards or anniversaries. And all those neat things.
Well, even just artwork, paper cut. I can't remember there's a German name for it. I can't remember the name of it right now, but just the art. You can do extremely intricate paper cutting with a scroll saw. If you get a 2/0 blade or even a jeweler's blade, you can cut every bit as intricate as some of these master paper cutters do. It's just a matter of having the pattern. And the advantage you have over the paper cutters is you can cut multiples at one time where they're just cutting one at a time.
What blade did you use, Steve?
I use a 2/0 anytime I cut paper, unless I get up. I don't. Usually I'm doing a demonstration. I'm not actually trying to produce the cards. If I was going to do 50 of them, I'd probably go with a number 3. But for the demonstration where I generally just cut 10, I use a 2/0.
So like those cards that you did right there?
Yeah.
A flat or a spiral?
Do what?
A flat blade or a spiral?
Flat blade. Yeah, you wouldn't want to cut these with a spiral. You'd tear them all to shreds.
Right.
Yeah.
You need that crisp, clean cut. Trust me,
and that's a pretty clean cut. I mean, there's no fuzzies.
Yeah.
Focus, but it's a pretty clean cut.
Yeah, you have to do the.
What about speed on that, Steve? Do you have to do? Wouldn't you have to slow down so you didn't burn the paper? I mean, is that?
No, you can turn it up. The only time I ever slow down on a scroll saw is when I'm cutting something very, very thin. If I'm cutting 1/8 inch or thinner wood, I slow the scroll saw down. If not, I got it running full blast.
What about with acrylics or plastics, that kind of stuff?
Well, plastics, because of heat, you generally have to slow down a little bit.
You sandwich that between an 1/8 inch piece of wood on both sides?
Yeah, 1/8 inch Baltic birch plywood on both sides, and that gives you the resistance to the blade to where you don't have to slow the saw down, because you got the problem with slowing the saw down is with thin wood is the wood gives you so little resistance that you can't follow your pattern line accurately, and if you slow the saw down just to regain that control. But anything thicker than, as long as you've got some resistance against the blade, you just let that blade run as fast as it'll go, because you can control your feed rate to anything you want, but the saw running as fast as it can, I mean, there's no reason not to.
Speaking of saws, and you got Seiko and is it King now? And the one thing I wish that someone would do would be to configure it so that you could actually control the speed with your foot pedal, like you can with a sewing machine.
Like a sewing machine, yeah. I know that's been talked about before, and I've actually even seen it done before. You could do it with some of the old style motors. You could have put like a rheostat on it and controlled it. You can't do that anymore because of the way they're designed.
No.
I don't know if I could ever get used to that or not, but I've been doing this so long, it would be hard for me to make a change like that.
Well, for me, my history is off the sewing machine anyway, so that's just.
Yeah.
So.
All right. You guys, I'm down to tap out here. So.
We're fixing to close this down. I just wanted to Chris Nealon's chat for me, and I wanted to say thank you. Somebody's echoing really, really bad, so I would appreciate it if everybody muted yourself at this time, just to see where the mute. But Chris Nealon sent me a super chat, and I just wanted to say thank you to Chris Nealon. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, so I appreciate everybody being on here, and Steve, we will get back with you. And after the first of the year, next week, the show is going to be predominantly on a Christmas giveaway. I have talked to a lot of my sponsors, so I have some stuff to give away. I'm trying to pick it up on a game type of theme because I still haven't had anybody, unless anybody comes through tonight and says they want to be on the show next week. But I still haven't have anybody for the show next week as far as a sponsor or, one of y'all guys being out there trying to get it right. But my sponsors are there for some prizes to give away. So next week, that's pretty predominantly what we're going to do is just give away some stuff for Christmas. I've talked to them and they're in the mood to give you some prizes. And I appreciate them so very, very much. If somebody comes through and wants to be the sponsor or be the guest for next week, then that'll be fine. We'll do that and do the giveaway because we can work that in also. But other than that, we're pretty well over for the night. Does anybody on the panel have anybody else they want to say or?
Yeah, I guess your wages are $1 an hour is what what Chris Nealon's saying. It's a fucking hour. He just gave me
$1 an hour. Well, hell, we've been on here for 2 hours, so I should get $2. Oh well, he did it the $1.99, so
it was a discount.
$1 per hour. Yeah, Chris, I appreciate everything and anything anybody ever gives me. I'm never asking for anything. Trust me. If y'all want to give me, if somebody donated tonight $1 million to me,
he loves sawdust, folks. He's always asking.
Yeah, it's like, I don't expect the giving. I appreciate the giving.
If you want to make it a little bit ironic, y'all can send it to the other Russ.
Yeah,
and just say you sent it to him.
Always. I do this for 2 reasons. I have a hell of a lot of fun, and I'll never deny that. But the second reason is because I get to see so many of my friends, not only on this panel, but out there in the chat.
Hey, Donald just showed up.
Single week. That's the reason I show up. The shows may not be the top quality at times, and I agree. And I'm sorry for that sometimes. But I enjoy it. The shows may not y'all every week. Every week you become my friends, and I make new ones every week. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I'm having a great time. That's the reason I'm here. I wouldn't be here for any other reason. I'm not making a lot of money off this, and if everybody thinks I am, you're fooling yourselves. It's for just the monetary thing of having a lot of fun. So I want to say before I get off here tonight, and I know people are going like, this thing's going on and on and on and on, and I realize that. But when you're having so good time with the friends, it's like sometimes you keep it going on. But thank you, Brenda. And you've been awful quiet tonight.
Well, bless your heart.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dixon.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jim.
Yep.
Thank you, Katie.
Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you,
Sunday,
Al.
good next week.
Thank you, Al.
Everyone have a great night.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Steve.
I don't see you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Steve.
Everyone. I'd hope to see some of you guys before the end of the year. But there's only thing we have to do that is left, and that is just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank
Okay.
you for watching.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Remember, you don't have to go home, but you
Night.
cannot stay here unless Kitty wants to let you move in.